Hey y'all, welcome back to my Epic Gaming channel. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. It's my birthday! Or it was when I was filming this, and I turned 22. My college birthdays have been so underwhelming because my birthday falls during final season and everyone is too busy being studious. As they should. I mean, I am the priority, but the idea is that I will have more birthdays, but my friends will not be able to retake these finals, so priorities can be readjusted in this case. This year, I decided to spend the day doing what I want to do to celebrate not only my birthday, but also to commemorate what may very well be the last chance I get to go to some of these places. You know what? I started off today being like, oh my god, it's freezing because it's literally like 28 degrees outside. Stepped outside, I was like, oh my gosh, it's freezing. Got to the sun, I was like, it's not actually even that cold, what the heck? Walked in the shade a little bit and now I'm like freezing, my hands are dying, but they're so dry. I just started feeling slightly better yesterday after my week of illness, but watch me fall sick again like a stupid idiot after this. It's okay. I decided to start my day by going to Ackland Museum. I went there at the start of the semester but haven't had a chance to go back. This cool art installation by Urban Conga was put up a while ago and I've been too nervous to go near it, but I saw pictures of people climbing all over it and I was like, I didn't know we could do that. I also arrived much earlier than I planned and ended up having about an hour to entertain myself before they opened. I sat on the installation and thawed my hands for a bit before going to take a couple of laps around Ackland and Haynes to stay warm. This at least gave me the opportunity to get some good b-roll. Honestly, spending time alone in my room or house is fine, but going places alone is still slightly intimidating to me. I'm a very paranoid and clumsy individual, but I found that most of this fear disappears once I actually get where I'm going, if that makes sense. Like, I'll still be struggling a little here and there, but it usually turns out fine. I really debated bringing my tripod with me today because I was like, it'll make it easier to film. And then I didn't because I was like, I don't want to carry it around because I'm just going to use it at Ackland. I should have brought it, but it's okay. You know, hindsight is 2020. You know, turning 22 has taught me that I really need to go with my gut instinct. Turning 22 is all about learning to trust your gut instinct, you know, like your first thought. You guys will understand when you're my age, but 22 is all about being in touch with yourself and just going with your first instinct. And when I was your age, if you are younger than me, I was also as naive as you, but turning 22, you will learn so much about yourself, you know. It's truly a life-changing experience. The theory here is that it doesn't matter if people judge me for filming in public or doing these activities alone because they won't remember my face, and even if they do, I literally left 2 days later and won't be back until May, and that's if I remember to come for my attendance to the May graduation ceremony. By then, they'll definitely forget unless they become so enamored with me that they can't get me out of their heads. I wouldn't blame them, but like, get a grip. Anyway, I think it's hard for some people to spend time with themselves because we rarely see people going out by themselves. They're there, trust me, but it's harder to notice people who are by themselves than people who are with another person or even a group of other friends. I seriously used to think that the only people who go out by themselves and enjoy that time are confident extroverts because I could never manage it myself. Got to college and I had to start managing it. Learned that it's actually not all that bad, even though it took majority of my time here to learn it. You have to know what you enjoy and what you won't enjoy and maybe be open to slightly different experiences. Something that makes spending time by myself out in public better is avoiding people to the best of my abilities. This keeps my anxiety and overthinking at bay. Some people aren't good with spending time alone with their thoughts. Some people just don't know how to spend time alone and enjoy it. Some people quickly find alone becoming lonely. Side note, it was seriously so cold this morning, by the way. I know in the footage throughout the video I keep rubbing my hands, and that's because my hands are like permanently dry and cold. I have poor circulation in my hands and I overuse hand sanitizer when I can't wash my hands. It's a problem I'm working on, but that doesn't change the fact that it was freezing and I was barely over my cold. It's also easy to feel lonely when you're by yourself with no motive or activity to fill your time, but you see people having fun with friends and actually having stuff to focus on. When you're used to company, whether it be friends, family, roommates, coworkers, what have you, and then you find yourself with none of the above, you kind of have to enter reset mode and learn to function without these people again until you find others to fill that role or just get used to it and move on. Literally, as soon as I got back from Thanksgiving break, I caught a cold. It lasted pretty much the entire week and I was so miserable. I realized that this is the only time I can recall catching a cold in university and I don't remember how to act. Usually I'm at home because it's winter or summer break, but I was all alone this time. I remember not being able to sleep because I couldn't freaking breathe out of my nose and I was terrified of suffocating in my sleep because of it, and my thoughts wandered off to loneliness. It's so lonely being sick while alone. I don't have anyone to bother and I even missed my siblings making fun of my stupid sick voice. It was such a pain.
Incoming first world problem, the place with my favorite soup on campus shut down earlier this year and I was craving purple bowl on top of that, but couldn't go because my throat would not be able to handle the cold. I'm glad I was feeling much better about my birthday because I really wanted to spend the day outside. Like I said earlier, I haven't been to Ackland since the start of the year, and one of the reasons I wanted to go back was this display. While it was less exciting than the first time around, it was no less captivating. I think one or two of the screens were broken, which was unfortunate, but it didn't take away from the appeal. They added more seating, which was nice, but way too close for my liking, so I sat in the back. Other than this section and a few others, art on display is switched out about halfway through the semester, so I was happy to see new pieces when I walked in. It occupied more of my time until my next destination. I actually think I'm starting to enjoy museums. I was having a good time revisiting pieces that had a seemingly permanent place and exploring more of the museum than my last visit. It was nice and quiet and not super busy also, which I think made it easier for me to actually enjoy my time. This piece in particular I found to be really neat. It was a bunch of plastic melted together, and this happy birthday thing immediately caught my eye and gave me a little bit of a jump scare. There was a purple one hidden in there also. It was a very fun game of what object can I identify, and I also got the security staff to take a picture of me in front of it like Namjoon does for his Instagram pictures. Last time, I didn't go to the second floor because I was scared for some reason that they would yell at me. Obviously, that didn't happen, and I didn't go to the gift shop either the first time around because I thought it would be boring and overpriced. Found myself with a little more confidence and time this time around, so that was nice, and I went. It's tough though, especially if you're not someone who likes doing things by themselves for whatever reason, to force yourself out of that comfort bubble and try to move past the anxious thoughts. I was, and still am to an extent, one of these people. I get very anxious about going out by myself, and I also grew up being reliant on my parents and siblings, more extroverted friends, and familiarity/routine of a small town, so college was a learning curve. Even in my town, I only went to like the same 7 places, including my schools and relatives' houses. I never really explored much because I was outside of my comfort zone. I always consider myself to be someone who's good at making friends and entertaining these friends, but college quickly made me realize just how untrue that was. I was good at making friends because I grew up in a small town, went to the same small schools with the same couple hundred kids, and you end up forming some sort of connection with people you see every day for 7 hours for 12 years straight, whether you want to or not.
I just left Ackland, and in a moment of weakness, oh no, my sticker. I bought this sticker that says, "Things just got super weird. It's my time to shine," because I always make things weird in all situations. And then I got this notebook for journaling, and it's so cute. It has cat on it, and oh my god, I'm super excited for it. The one time I don't bring my tote bag, I buy something. Go figure. It
is so hard, at least it was for me, to form lasting connections with people, which played a part in me feeling lonely in college even with my siblings nearby. And in me realizing how truly awful I am at starting and maintaining conversations. A lot of people ended up being classroom acquaintances, people I never saw or talked to again after the semester ended. Ankita is the only person I reached out to in freshman year, with neither of us having any mutual friends. All of my other friends are friends of friends or friends introduced to me by people neither of us are friends with anymore. By the way, you probably guessed it by now, but the next place I wanted to go to was a cat cafe. I've always been too nervous to go by myself because it's such a small place and only 8 people can be in there at a time, and that's scary to me. But I love cats so much, and I really wanted to go alone because I have been meaning to for the longest time but kept psyching myself out. What better day than my birthday? I arrived early and had the cat to myself for about 15 minutes before literally an entire family decided to come in and monopolize the space, but they were actually looking to adopt, so valid.
Some of them are still sleeping upstairs. The one downstairs are like very playful, but I think they just want to play amongst themselves for now. I'll just wait here.
I often find that there are a lot of lifestyle conflicts between me and the people I'm drawn to, which is the reason some friendships fall apart or never take off. The lifestyle conflict is that I'm someone who is lazy and likes to stay in my comfort zone and inside, barely stepping out of it or my house, even for self-preservation. But most of my friends are go-getters. Introverts, but still go-getters. They have realistic visions for the future and they stick to it. I am very fickle about nearly everything due to paranoia and quick loss of interest. It frustrates many people. But it also creates a sense of loneliness and makes me feel like something is wrong with me. Why can't I find something and stick to it? If I'm going to be fickle, why can't it at least be about something that's less serious than my future?
This cat just attacked another one and they both fell off the chair. This one attacked this one off this chair and they both fell.
Friendships are hard, y'all. Friendships in college can be even harder. And it only gets harder to make and maintain friendships after college, apparently. So that's fun. And so lonely. Especially because we're made to think that social lives thrive in college. They don't. I mean, not all the time, not always. Mine didn't, and I'm still slightly bitter about that, but whatever. I had a good run, made good friends, came out a better person than I went in, less of a pushover, less stupid, more lost in some ways, but all around better.
So, most of the cats are upstairs, and there's like 7 people upstairs, and it's way too crowded. So I'm down here. I love her so much. One of the cats here was hit by a car last night.
Sometimes when I'm walking around campus, I get into these moods where I'm like, there are tens of thousands of people on this campus. I'm literally surrounded by more people my age now than I will ever be again, and I only know maybe 10 people on campus by name. Like, as people I've actually talked with outside of class and Instagram and am somewhat friends with. There are people who used to follow me on Instagram who would not be able to recognize me in person because in freshman year, people go crazy following other freshmen and people from the university to make connections and friends that they often don't even pay attention to who it is that they're following. That is crazy to me. It's crazy to me that I was one of these people. And especially this semester, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the bittersweetness of graduating, but I find myself thinking about how vast the world is. We're all alone in many ways we can't even imagine. There's something so grounding about being in college because we're experiencing so many firsts with so many strangers we may or may not ever see again. It's as comforting as it is stress and anxiety inducing. Once my hour at the cat cafe was up, I decided to get some food. I always forget how far down Franklin Street the cat cafe is, but the walk back to what I refer to as main Franklin Street was yet another good opportunity for B-roll. Less people come out this way, and they were even less than usual because people were busy studying for finals or actually taking finals. For some reason though, groups and groups of people would walk by every time I pulled out my phone and set it up to film. What an experience. The thing about doing things alone is that you get used to it. The anxiety and nervousness barely lessens, but you start feeling numb to it eventually or start ignoring it at least. It gets easier to go out by yourself the more you do it, much like anything else. My choice of sustenance today was kurama, my beloved. This year just didn't hit the same as the previous years for some reason, but I still hold her close in my heart. The first time I went to eat here was in freshman year, but the first time I came to eat here alone was last October. In fact, that was the first time in my life I had gone out to eat with myself anywhere. It was an experience. I definitely ate too fast, but it was worth it and boosted my confidence and courage to do it more often. I used to be so jealous of people who went out to eat with no one to accompany them. I really thought it was such a brave thing to do because it's another thing that just comes down to fear of judgment and looking stupid over things that are actually super normal. I talked about it before, but you have to remember, you don't care when others are by themselves, people don't care when you are by yourself. I know for me, it's easier to forget that I'm by myself when I'm doing something, like looking at art, or crying over cats, or eating, or just pretending that nobody else is around me. I placed an order for insomnia cookies while in kurama as a replacement for cake. My time management skills need some work because I ended up with more time to waste than expected yet again. I spent this time walking around. I really debated going back to my dorm for a bit, but realized I would just destroy the vibes I was experiencing, the vibes I created. So I just goofed around and filmed some more B-roll. Confidence to film in public when I'm by myself is something I'm still working on. I think I look more suspicious waiting for people to go away so I can film in peace than setting up my phone and actually filming. But I'm also paranoid that someone will steal my phone when I leave it alone, so... Anyway, I wanted to try asking a stranger to record me one day. I feel like that would really get my chromosomes buzzing.
I'm currently loitering about until 2:15 when I will head over to grab my insomnia order, which is supposed to be ready at 2:30 or whatever. Slay.
I think being an introvert plays a small role in me being such an anxious mess. The whole thing of not being good at making friends, I'm just not good at talking to people. I'm barely good at talking to the friends I do have, which props to them for dealing with that, but also... This may sound stupid, but I realized that the person I am in class is completely different than the person I am in real life with close friends and family way too late. Embarrassingly late. In class, I barely talk. Outside of class, I barely shut up. When I first got to college, I tried to change this. I really did. During orientation, I told myself, no one knows me here. I can totally fake my entire personality until it becomes my personality. I got the idea from my high school French teacher, to be honest. She would always joke about assigning us class personalities, and the idea was kind of appealing to me in high school, and I guess it stuck in my head afterwards as well. I was fully prepared to follow through with this too, except it was hot and gross over orientation. I just couldn't be bothered after a certain point because all of my attempts at conversing with my group fell off even before they took off. Like, I think the problem is me. Genuinely. Maybe it's that I'm not very good at emoting through my voice and everything I say kind of sounds bland and uninterested. Anyway, I feel like this is a common trend amongst YouTubers. Introverts trying to be heard and seen as more than just a one-dimensional person who never talks while stepping slowly out of their comfort zone. I know that's one of the reasons I started my channel, along with just wanting to document more of my life for myself and to just talk. I have things to say and I want others to hear these things, even if it's through a screen, even if what I have to say is stupid, because it kind of is a lot of the times if we're being honest. But also, I feel like this sets up so many unrealistic expectations of me. Like, if I meet any of you in public, I fear y'all would think I hate you because I just don't know how to interact with people and come off as standoffish, which I'm not. I love talking and I love getting to know people, I'm just not good at it. I hope to get better, but we'll see. I'll stick to being a homebody for now, but spending time outside by myself is fun too. You should try it. Waiting to do little mundane things that you want to do just because no one is free to do them with you is a waste of time and hope, because what if it never happens? You'll either keep on waiting or give up in a disappointment. It's now or never. Goodbye.